Let us first pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kung, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Let's pay homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight, Guru Padmasambhava. Sumo Tansan Katso Tutan Siti. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening. How do you do?
I still 사랑해. 오라미코 개개로 묻혀. 스코인 이지마 김어지 정미 야비 뿌린뿌린 건방와 다자 완안.
Good evening, everyone. There's no Q&A today. We don't have any for today and tomorrow. Because you don't ask today, so there is no answers. This 1 week, the Master had lots of personal experience. I would like to talk about the sound of my heart. Yesterday was Friday, and yesterday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. From 2 to 5 p.m. Actually, in our Buddha school, we have 2 dentists. One is Hong Gui-Qing, Miss Hong Gui-Qing, Gui-Qing Hong. And the other one is Dr. Ryan Zhuang, 2 dentists. On Thursday, Dr. Hong got down from the mountain late at night. And I went to her clinic. And she helped me check my teeth. Because I experienced severe pain in my gums. And she gave me medicine. She was very happy until late after 10, and she had not had any dinner. And yesterday, because doctors are interconnected and they usually refer to each other, so she contacted a root canal specialist in Bellevue. So Simu and I and Dr. Zhuang went to the root canal specialist. And the dentist did the root canal yesterday afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m. So root canal from 2 to 5 p.m. We often say that toothache is not a disease, but when it's aching, it would make you wanting to die. I don't want to cry anymore today because I've cried several times before. With each heartbeat, I experience severe pain continuously for 3 hours. That was yesterday, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Dr. Zhuang accompanied me at the hospital because only one person could go in. That pain Have you ever had toothache before? Toothache is really painful. I've suffered the pain for a long time. I had no other ways. That's why I asked the Miss Hong, the dentist, to check and examine and referred to the root canal specialist. I experienced the pain for 3 hours continuously. I don't know how much anesthesia the Novocaine injected, but still painful. Finally, I took morphine to stop the pain. Now I found that Lin Zexi burned all the morphines, the opiums. That's a pity because opium can stop pain. For a few days now, I started from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I took the
就是止痛，
opium
就是止痛。
to stop the pain, to kill the pain.
这个吃了会上瘾，听说是会上瘾。
I heard that it can be addictive, so once I recover, I have to
我
stop
觉
it.
得佛陀讲了一句话
I found
非
that
常正确。
the Buddha said something very accurate.
他常常说法以前就讲了， 谛听
He often said before his Dharma teaching,
人生是
listen
苦，
carefully. Human life is suffering.
什么最苦？
What is the most
我觉得
suffering?
老是苦。
I think being old is suffering.
你看这个街上多少人，
Look at
多少老人在晨
in
跑
the， streets, how many elderlies are running.
在街上你看到多少老人在走来走去啊？
How many elderlies do you see walking on the
老
streets?
人都不出来，
They don't go out
因为他
anymore
行动不方便。
because their movements are not convenient anymore.
是最苦。
And then the most suffering is the suffering of sickness. Once you're invaded by
我
sickness.
昨天还想，
Yesterday I was thinking,
什么这个 June 27, May 45, and 这个 85啊 ，May 85，明天是我农历
tomorrow
同一天的生日，
is
农历是5
My
月18嘛。
birthday where the lunar calendar and Gregorian calendar coincide.
只有2次，
And in my whole lifetime, it only happened twice. Once is when I was 19, and the other one is when
19
I'm
岁不懂，
77 tomorrow.
也没有过生日。
When I was 19, I did not know anything. I didn't celebrate birthdays.
想要过
But
一
at
次农历
77,
跟阳历
I
一起的
wanted to
生日，
celebrate a birthday where the lunar and Gregorian calendars coincide. But
4大不调，
the 4 elements are not in harmony.
脚气肿重，脚气
The
肿
first
痛，
one is
脚啊肿得跟
swollen
萝卜腿一样，
legs and pain.
萝卜的腿，
My legs become really big.
全部的水在里面，
It's water retention there.
那个是水不调。
So the water is
再
not
来
in
腰痛，
harmony. And then I
腰
have back
痛
pain.
腰整个腰痛，已经痛很久了。
It's been a long time
牙痛胜过腰痛，
because the toothache is
腰痛就
worse
不去管。
than the backache, so I ignore the backache now.
腰痛是火，
The backache is due to the fire element.
再来，这个现在啊，
And
也不知道怎么回事，
I don't know what's going
打
on
过这
now.
个 COVID-19 的，
I pant even when I climb the stairs.
稍微运动一下也会喘。
And I pant when I
很奇怪，
exercise
以
slightly.
前不喘的，
It
现在都
never
喘。
happened before. I never panted before, and now I do.
这是属于风啊，
That's the wind element.
再来，
And
整个
then
牙床肿起来，发脓，
my gums swell,
一
and
直
it had
到了眼睛，
pus
这个痛到眼睛。
to my eyes, and the pain all the way to my eyes
我
and
昨天在讲，
forehead. to the head.
这个地水火风
Earth, water, fire, and wind
一起痛，
all give pain together.
我在想说，
So I was thinking,
礼拜六的同修不做了吧？
maybe I cannot conduct the Saturday group practice,
也不做了吧？
or maybe cancel the Sunday
大概也没办法
birthday celebration. Perhaps I would not be able to handle them.
勉强呢，走到这里上了法座。
So I pushed myself to come here to climb on this Dharma throne.
顺其自然，
Just let it be. If I can do it, I'll do it.
休息。
If I cannot, then I will rest.
我在想啊，将来
I'm
的身体
thinking
能不能再继续写作？
whether my body can continue to write in the future.
能不能再继续在法座上说法？
Can my body allow me to give Dharma teaching on the Dharma throne in the future? It's
根
hard
本
to
没办法
say.
讲。
It's hard to know.
所以我们华人讲了一句话：
So
天有不
Chinese
测风
saying,
雨，
the heavens
人
have
有
the
胆气
unpredictable
破腹。
rain and wind, and human beings have
有谁知道呢？有人知道明天你会
fortunes,
怎么样？
good lucks and bad lucks in the day. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow.
星期四的晚上，
On Thursday night,
因为腰痛，
because of my back pain,
是星期四的晚上，那个连生上师，
Master Lian Sheng,
你帮我按摩那个晚上，
you give me a massage.
不是你帮我按摩是哪一个晚上？
Which day was it when you give me a massage?
一个讲星期二，你讲
Was that Tuesday?
我是星期三开始牙齿痛的吗？
I have toothache starting Wednesday. Then it was Tuesday night. You give me
他懂得这
a
个
massage. He
因为他
knows
小的时候就帮父亲按摩，
to give massage
还有
because he gave
他去
massage to
学过
his
按摩。
father when he was young.
他学过按摩，
And
他
he
真的
has
是很道
learned
地按摩
to
是
give
非常道地
massage
的，全身他
and he's very
他都按
good.
摩。
He gave massage all over the body and he knows about the
这
acupressure
不按
points.
而已呀，一按就痛。
I feel fine without being pressed, but as soon as it's being pressed, it was painful.
COVID-19 都在找它的根源，我也是在找我这个为什么牙齿
They're looking for the
会肿胀
origin
的
of
根源
COVID-19, and
是
I'm
根源
looking
原生上师
for
帮我按摩开
why
始
my swell and pain of my
他按的那一
gums.
天晚上啊，
It's because of his massage, Master Lian Sheng's. After he gave a massage that night, I could
牙
not
齿
sleep.
就开始肿啊，
The fire, I could not sleep all
痛
night.
到不
So
得了
fire
痛到眼睛，痛
blazes,
到头，
and then the gums swell
痛到
and
没办法了。
pains all over to the
那
eyes, to
红
the
豆
head,
师姐
until I had no other ways. And my
晚
sister
上回来都
Hong
快8点，
went for a hike, and
还请
she
他
got home
他还
at
我
8,
还到他的诊所，
and I still went to
到
her
了
clinic
10点，晚
afterwards,
上10点都没吃饭。
and she hadn't eaten until 10 at night.
还有张医师啊，
And Dr. Chuang accompanied me yesterday at the hospital. That kind of suffering. No wonder I saw Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. That's the pain of endless time, which is continuous. So pain at each heartbeat, and it cannot be controlled even with the anesthesia. Only now I know, only the opium can stop the pain. So that's the impermanence of the body, the impermanence of the lives. All changing, ever changing, all changes, impermanence. What a coincidence. I'm celebrating birthday tomorrow. Even the heavens don't let me easy. The record high temperature in Washington State is tomorrow. So Sakyamuni Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha's teaching. Washington State is in the northwest corner of USA. It's always cool and cold in the winter. And in the summertime, the heat is only on the surface, perhaps for 1 month. It's never that hot. Never did we know that the record high temperature tomorrow is 108 degrees. What a coincidence. The chanting beats 108. 108 beats. So this is how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are celebrating my birthday? Recently, I often say, what is to be happy about life? And what is to be sad about death? So, if you transcend life and death, what is to be happy about life, about living? And what is to be sad about dying or death? The Buddha said, human life is suffering. You come here to eradicate your karma, to eradicate your karma. And next, to be reborn into the Pure Land, like Guru Padmasambhava, to have the rainbow light attainment, like Guru Padmasambhava's Guru, Sri Singha, Guru Sri Singha, also had the attainment of rainbow light transformation. And Manjushri Mitra, also rainbow light transformation. And Guru Padmasambhava is also rainbow light transformation body or accomplishment. You have to practice until you gain a great attainment like Guru Padmasambhava. So therefore the Buddhas had said that his whole body is also not so well. When Sakyamuni Buddha was living on earth, because of his past life, hit the head of the Liu Li King. At that time, the Sakya clan was by the ocean, and they caught a big fish. And the big fish was the previous life of the king, Liu Li King. And the Sakya clan, the whole villagers ate the fish. And the Buddha was still young then. And he hit the head of that fish. And because of that, when the Buddha was alive, he had migraine, headache, migraine. Is it painful? It's also very painful. So Sakyamuni Buddha's body also experienced the suffering of migraine. And the Buddha's digestive system was not very good either. And the water that they drank then was from the river. And at the last meal offering to him, in the common language we can say that he ate rotten meat by the ironsmith. But the Mahayana Buddhists would say that no, he did not eat the rotten meat because he was a vegetarian, so he ate the rotten mushrooms. And then he needed water. And by coincidence, the 500 merchants passed by the river, so the river was the water was turbid. Ananda went to fetch the water, but the water was turbid, so he could not get any. So the Buddha, because he had bad digestive system and no water, he passed into parinirvana between two sala trees. It should have been that Sakyamuni Buddha could live past 80 years old. Even if the turbid water was fetched, the Buddha had the transcendent power to cleanse, to purify the turbid water. If he drank the water, he would have been saved. Without the water, then he was dehydrated completely. So the Buddha passed into parinirvana. So strictly speaking, the Buddha died of sickness. He got sick after eating rotten mushroom, and then he died.
我当时在佛住世的时候，佛陀
At that time, during the lifetime of Sakyamuni
常常
Buddha,
讲的一句话，
at the beginning of the Buddha's teaching, he often said,
第一听，
listen carefully.
人生是苦，
Human life is suffering.
事实上也是这样。
In reality, it is the case.
师尊虽然这个肉身已经衰败，
Although Grandmaster's physical body has declined and aged
这一
at
次呢，这
77,
个脚气肿，
this time with swollen and painful legs, backache,
牙痛，
toothache,
这个体力不如从前，
and my energy has
走一段
declined.
路，爬个楼梯，
Just walking a little bit and climbing the
也不知道怎么
steps
回事。
make me pant. I'm not sure what's going on.
我常常讲啊，师尊
I
本身
often say,
有佛光护体，
Grandmaster
也不怕这
has
个
Buddha's
COVID-19。
light protecting him. With a little
我以
bit of
前讲
exercise,
打太极，
Dexter would know.
打少林
In the
棍，
past,
打少
when
林棍，
I do the Tai Chi Chuan
都
or
打完
the
一条音乐，
Shaolin pole, I would finish the
现
whole
在他只
song.
给我放1/3，
Now he only
1/3
played
一条
1/3.
没有放完，多少？这一条音乐给我放2分半，
He only played 2.5 minutes
一条
of
音
the
乐本来
song,
多少？
of the music.
6分钟的，
It was 6 minutes
以
before.
前打6分钟
I could
都不会
do 6 minutes without
现在打
panting
2分半
before, but
还
now
会喘，
just 2.5
就奇
minutes
怪。
and I still pant. Strange,
可无常嘛。我的这个
impermanence.
佛光护体呀，破功。
The Buddha's light on my body has been
破
broken.
功了，很奇怪的。
So strange.
这个人算不如天算， 命运啊，
Heaven's plan is
明天
better than human's plan.
是老夫的
That's
这个
fate.
生日，
Tomorrow is my
搞了
birthday.
半天是华州
And it turned out
破
to
纪
be
录的一天。
the record high temperature of Washington State.
你看那个
The
连
hottest
地
day.
藏王菩萨都来跟你讲，
Even Siddhikarma Bodhisattva came
给你一
to
个
say
八热第一，第一
to
就是八
celebrate
寒
your
八热
birthday. There are
真正的根本第一
8
是八寒八热，
freezing hells and 8 scorching
冷
hells.
就是冷的要死，
When it's cold, extremely cold. When it's hot, it's extremely hot.
这个地藏王菩萨也是
So
我的
Siddhikarma Bodhisattva is also my
他用
brother.
这个八热的第一来给我
And
庆生，
he celebrated my
真的是
birthday with 8 scorching hells. What a friend.
有个朋友，真的。那我们讲一点道果吧。
Let me expound a little on Lamdre.
现教是第三，
This is the instruction on the third point. According to what is relied upon, it is extremely broad explanation. The verse in quotes, at the moment of attaining the 13th ground, The mind attracts the 10th ground mothers, etc. End quote. Describes during the latter accumulation period, in accordance with the confirmed lotus endowed goal, one performs up to the 13th ground, or the past abiding envoys or practitioner does not need reliance, which is summed up as etc. When I'm at the first ground, the mudra is also at the first ground. Similarly, when I'm at the 7th ground, the mudra is also at the 7th ground. Namely, its interest as spoken in the Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means. In quotes, a bodhisattva, mahasattva, achieves unborn endurance or anupatika dharma santi if he wants to realize and demonstrate the perfect realization. The Vajrasattva Tantra stated, accomplished in one day. The near cause is the 7-day meditation, which means the one with unborn endurance abides on the 8th ground. The 7-day refers to 2 grounds in one day. Oh, footnote. The Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means does not exist in the Tibetan Tripitaka.
则汉地已有译本3种，分别为佛说、大法广、善巧方便经、会上菩萨问、大善巧经、大正藏及大宝积经第38大圣方便会。我告诉您，这一段，我们现在讲的这一段，得无生法忍，则即为
talk about this
所言7日
excerpt, the unborn endurance.
各登2地。
The 7th day refers, the near cause is the 7-day meditation, which means the one with unborn endurance abides on the 8th ground. The 7th day refers to 2 grounds in one day, which is a day and a night for 1 ground each. So in 6 days and nights, one reaches 12.5 ground. This piece is secret. Let me tell you, my body is in Seattle. But I can also say that my body, although my body has declined and in pain, I am still all over the world.
当年释迦牟尼佛不是成佛了吗？
At that time, Sakyamuni Buddha has attained Buddhahood long ago, but his body too declined. But at the same time, he could divide his bodies at the vulture peak. He could go to the auspicious rice gathering pagoda to transmit Kalachakra Dharma to the king of Shambhala at the Jixiang auspicious Miji Pagoda to transmit Kalachakra Dharma. So now, yesterday at the most painful time, at the place of the dentist when I had the surgery on my teeth, to get anesthesia and cut open with knives and to take out all the stuff inside. At that moment, all the same, I could divide myself, emanated to several countries. And I had witnesses, but it cannot be spoken because it is a secret, like the sutra. But they are such people, and there were such events. Even when I was having pain during the oral surgery, I was teaching someone to practice. And it did happen. And that such person did exist, but I cannot tell. It was in the Southeast Asia or Far East, Northeast Asia countries. When I was going through the operation on my teeth and gum, I could emanate myself to go to Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia.
这里讲灵得13地时，一钩10地母。这一句话是很定义的，但是他后面有解释。
This statement is very secretive.
你是初地的空行母。
But there's an explanation later. If you reach the first ground, you're the Dakini of the first ground. And the first ground is the ground of joy. And you would obtain a Dakini of the first ground. When you reach the seventh ground, which is the ground of far travel, then you would get a Dakini of the seventh ground. So the mudra, karma mudra, is also at the seventh ground, when you are at the seventh ground. So, which is a Dakini of the seventh ground.
这个就是依据受具的具人理，行至第13地。
The confirmed lotus endowed goal, one performs up to the 13th ground, or the past abiding envoys or practitioner does not need reliance. Some practice in relying with the Dakini, relying on the Dakini, and some don't. But when you're at the seventh ground, you have Dakinis of the seventh ground. Or when you're at the first ground, you have Dakini of the first ground. The Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means. And they checked that the Sutra did not exist. But there was a similar sutra. unborn endurance is the 8th ground. We know that unborn endurance is a fruition. That's the 8th ground. Anutpatika Dharma Santi. This is very secretive. I don't dare to explain it clearly. Actually, if I say it clearly, you can understand, but I cannot. Because like yesterday, when I was in the oral operation, I'm being in Seattle amidst the suffering. I divided myself, emanated to Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia, and taught the karma mudras how to cultivate spiritually. This kind of thing sounds very mystical, but it really happened. And the male practitioner is Grandmaster. And the female practitioner, the karma mudra, cannot be spoken. But she can provide the proof, witness, but I cannot say it. So what's written here is very concealed. The Vajrascreen Tantra also stated, in quotes, at dawn the attainment is definite, end quote. The dawn of the 6th day is the 7th day of realizing the fruition for a total of 7. Attaining the 8th ground and above can accomplish the near cause due to complete understanding of all the grounds, etc., to assimilate the 2 former outlines, 2 latter outlines, and the 10 apparent instructions, etc., 5 of them. It can allow one to attain Buddhahood, referred as the 10th ground mothers, etc., which is also called, in quotes, even if one has reached the 8th ground, the mudra is also the 8th ground, and such words and the same realization as I. The verse, in quotes, mind attracts, means mere thought can accomplish it. There is no need to visualize external things, etc. So mere thought can accomplish it. Talking about this is already very dazzling. At my abode, there are 2 golden mothers. One hang on the wall, and one is a statue. Actually, there's another one underground, because you have to walk outside to go to the altar underground. And now I practice in front of the small altar, and it's hang on the wall. So whenever I face the Golden Mother on the wall and say the name of that one person, then that night I would appear at her place. And it's not just one body. There would be many bodies flying out. I could emanate many bodies in one night. In one night, all the people of one chapter can dream of Grandmaster. If you have dreamt of Grandmaster, please raise your hand. Very many. Those you have dreamt of Grandmaster. Sometimes Grandmaster teaches people mantra, sometimes mudra. Sometimes I teach them how to visualize. Sometimes I teach them Vajra fist exercise. Sometimes I especially provide instruction on certain things. So in one night, I can go to a chapter and all the disciples of that chapter dream of Grandmaster. So not just one Grandmaster, but many, many. So what is that? It's like the verse in quotes, mind attracts, end quote. Means mere thought can accomplish it. There's no need to visualize or do any external things. Facing Golden Mother on the wall, whenever I say the name of that person and then I sleep, then I would appear in the dream of that person that night. And I would teach that person Dharma. If you have this experience, please raise your hand. Nobody? I teach you how to cook. Oh, that happens. Not bad. Typically speaking, the one who has attained the 8th ground is a fruition, it's a kind of fruition, which is the unborn endurance. And we can say, in my personal opinion, it's the highest level of bodhisattva. On that ground, you can understand all the grounds, everything about the world, everything about the human world can be understood. You have complete understanding. And you use this. To assimilate the 2 former outlines, 2 latter outlines, and 10 apparent instructions. What are they? Those are terms. To assimilate the upper and lower and 10 kinds of apparent instructions and can be spoken very clearly, can allow one to attain Buddhahood. When you reach the 8th ground, it's about there. 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. He jumped from the 1st ground to the 8th ground. 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, due to the Mahakaruna Dharani, great compassion mantra, jump from the 1st to the 8th ground, which is the highest level of Bodhisattvahood. 5 is explained here. What is 5 of them? According to the black scroll, is to explain the preface of the Vajra Screen Tantra. So at dawn, the attainment is definite. On the 8th ground, use the 3 purities to pure and lastly, leading one day to the 12th ground. So that's the explanation. But the more it's explained, the worse, the worse it gets. It's impossible to understand. One day to reach which ground. And so Vajra Screen Tantra. I know Vajra Screen. When I was in Dharamsala had the dialogue with Dalai Lama. I told him, I first saw the Vajra light, and then I saw the Vajra chain, and thirdly, I saw the Vajra screen. And the interpreter at that time, we can understand about the Vajra light, and he also knew about the Vajra chain. However, he did not know about the Vajra screen. He could not translate to Dalai Lama. And he asked the Dalai Lama, Grandmaster Lu was talking about the Vajra screen, and the translator did not know. So it is what's written here, Vajra Screen Tantra. At dawn, the attainment is definite. You think it is a real dawn, the daybreak? No. But it's that you have seen the Vajra screen. When you see the Vajra screen, all the lights of the light drops become the Vajra chains, and the Vajra chains gather to become a screen, like a monitor, a screen. Then that's the Vajra screen. So I am using a modern term to describe the Vajra screen. It's like on our televisions, at the on-off, there's that dots on the monitor, nothing, just the gathering of dots of light, and then it becomes a screen, and nothing in it. So that's the explanation. At dawn, the attainment is definite. As long as you see the Vajra screen, it's like you see the daybreak when the sun is about to rise. At that time, you see the screen of the heavens. That's the Vajra. That's the Vajra screen. You see the screen of the sky. So Dalai Lama was talking about Vajra screen, and I also said that I saw the prajna light, Vajra chains, and Vajra screen, and then to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that took forms. If you have not reached that realm, talking about it sometimes can create misperception or misunderstanding. Ame went for a repentance yesterday, and Father, I often look in the mirror and found myself that I'm the most beautiful woman on earth. And the Father told her, you have no sin, but you have a misunderstanding, no misperception of yourself. Like Lamdre, it wrote that without a true guru, or if you have not reached that realm, you cannot explain it. So if you have not reached the realm, even if it's if you're told, you cannot understand, but if you reach the realm, then you can understand. A 10-year-old played the Tai Chuan properly, and I praise him. And the kid make the horse stance position and asked me to push him. And I was curious, so I pushed him, and he fell on his back. And his uncle came by and said that I was bullying the kid. So I had to pay $2,000. So it's not that you all these scams all over cannot. This is about heat. Under the sun, it's 42 degrees Celsius. An old man was hit by a car, but immediately he jumped back onto his feet, and very reactive So people on the street exclaim, "Oh, you have great body. You're very active." And he said, "You tried it. It's so hot. If I hadn't gotten up, I would have been cremated." That's how it will be tomorrow. If you try to lie on an asphalt road, on that heat, at noon, when the sun is shining, try to lay on the asphalt road, especially if you're naked. Xiaoming just got home, and his mom slapped him. "Why did you get into a fight in school, at school?" And Xiaoming cried and said, "Impossible, I didn't even go to school today." And the mom slapped him again. And the teacher said that you skipped classes, and I didn't even believe. So the mom was smart. That's how she proved that he skipped classes. That's how it was with me too when I was little. Last night, I dreamt of my wife got angry and wanting to leave the house. And I will leave for 1 month and not coming back. And in the morning, my wife asked me, "Why did you laugh so hard in your dream last night?" And I said, "Oh, because I got a raise." So actually, when wives go back to her mother's house, the husbands are very happy. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.